What if I told you that the next million-dollar app idea could be yours, and you wouldn't even need to write a single line of code? You can create a fully functional, profitable app from scratch using free tools, even if you don't have a single clue about coding. In this video, I'll show you how to make it happen step by step. And yes, this works whether you're a total beginner or someone who just wants to turn an idea into a real income-generating app. The first thing you need to know is that creating apps with AI has become incredibly accessible. AI tools like ChatGPT are making it possible for anyone to generate app code by simply describing what they want. You don't need a computer science degree, and you definitely don't need to hire a $10,000 developer team just to get started. Best of all, if you plan this right, your app could be one of those free apps that generates passive income. Think about apps you use every day. Some of them are free to download, but they bring in money through ads, in-app purchases, or premium features. Your app could do the same. The beauty of this process is that you don't need fancy equipment or advanced skills. You just need a bit of guidance, which I'm about to give you. Step 1. Come up with your app idea. Coming up with an app idea might seem easy. You probably already have a few floating around in your head, but not every idea will work. And that's okay. The key here is to focus on problems people face in their everyday lives. Great apps solve problems or make life easier in some way. Maybe you've noticed people struggling to manage their daily tasks, or maybe you've wished for an app that could help you organize your expenses better. These are the kinds of ideas that work because they address real needs. Step 2. Validate your idea. Once you have a general idea, the next step is research. And I cannot stress this enough. Research is everything when it comes to building an app. The good news is that you don't have to guess which ideas are profitable or which features people actually want. There are tools out there that let you spy on successful apps and learn exactly what they're doing right. One of my favorite tools for this is Sensor Tower. It's an app analytics platform that shows you how apps are performing, from their monthly revenue to their user base and monetization strategies. Let's say you want to create a grocery list app. Go to Sensor Tower, type grocery list app in the search bar, and you'll see a breakdown of the top performing apps in that category. You'll be able to see how much money they're making each month, whether they use ads, premium subscriptions, or in-app purchases to earn revenue, and even what features people love or complain about. This step is super important because it shows you what's working in the market and, more importantly, what's missing. If you notice that most grocery list apps don't let users categorize items by store or add notes for specific dietary restrictions, that could be your opportunity to stand out. Step 3. Decide on your USP. Here's where strategy comes in. You're not just copying an existing app, you're improving on it. Think about how your app could solve problems better or offer something those other apps don't. Maybe your app could include features like reminders to check pantry supplies before shopping or the ability to share lists with family members in real time. The goal is to find a gap in the market and fill it. If you're unsure, look at user reviews of existing apps. People are brutally honest in reviews, and they'll tell you exactly what they wish those apps did better. Step 4. Generate your app code. Once you've nailed down your app idea and know how you want it to stand out, it's time to bring that idea to life. And this is where AI tools like ChatGPT come in. If you're thinking, I don't know how to code, so this is where I'm going to fail, stop right there. You don't need to be a programmer for this stuff. ChatGPT is designed to take simple instructions and turn them into usable app code. Here's how it works. Start by signing up for ChatGPT on OpenAI's website. Once you're logged in, you can start a conversation with the AI by typing in a prompt. The key here is to be as specific as possible. For example, instead of just saying, make me a grocery list app, you could say, write the code for a grocery list app that allows users to add items, categorize them, and set reminders for each item. The more detailed you are, the better ChatGPT can understand what you're asking for. Within seconds, ChatGPT will generate the code you need, typically in 3 parts: HTML for the app's structure, CSS for its design, and JavaScript for its functionality. Don't let the technical jargon intimidate you. Think of these as building blocks that come together to form your app. If there's something you want to tweak, like adding a gradient background or changing the font style, you can tell ChatGPT exactly what you want, and it'll adjust the code for you. Step 5. Test the code. Now, you've got your code, but it's just text at this point. You can't see what your app looks like or how it functions yet. This is where testing and customization come in, and for that, we'll use a free tool called CodePen. This is an online code editor that lets you paste your code into separate sections for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and see your app in action in real time. To get started, create a free account on CodePen. Once you're in, you'll see a workspace divided into 3 panels for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Copy and paste the corresponding code from ChatGPT into each section. As you do this, you'll see a live preview of your app on the right-hand side of the screen. This is where the magic happens. You'll actually see your app come to life. Take a few minutes to play around with your app. If it's a grocery list app, try adding items, assigning them to categories, and setting reminders. See if everything works as expected. This step is incredibly important because it allows you to identify any bugs or areas where the app doesn't function as intended. And if you notice something isn't quite right, don't panic. You can always go back to ChatGPT and ask it to fix the issue or refine the code. For example, you might want to add a feature that automatically sorts items alphabetically. Just tell ChatGPT what you want, and it'll generate the updated code for you. Step 6. Customize. While you're testing, this is also a good time to think about customization. The basic app might work fine, but does it look good? Small changes like updating the background color, adding a unique font, or including your own branding can make a big difference. These tweaks are easy to make in CodePen, and you can see the results instantly in the live preview. Customization isn't just about looks. It's about making your app feel polished and professional. Step 7. Save the app code. This is a straightforward process, but it's important to do it correctly to avoid losing anything. Open a basic text editor on your computer, like Notepad on Windows or TextEdit on Mac. Copy the HTML code from CodePen and paste it into a new document. Save the file as index.html. Then do the same for the CSS code, saving it as styles, CSS, and for the JavaScript code, saving it as script.js. Make sure all 3 files are saved in the same folder on your computer. This folder is essentially your app. It contains everything your app needs to function. Step 8. Host your app. Now that you've got your app saved in a neat little folder with all its files organized, the next step is to get it online so other people can use it. This is called hosting, and while it might sound like something complicated or expensive, it's actually super simple and free if you use the right tools. One of the easiest ways to do this is with a platform called TinyHost. It's beginner-friendly and perfect for small projects like this. First, you need to prepare your app files for upload. Remember that folder where you saved your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files? You're going to compress it into a zip file. If you've never done this before, don't worry, it's easy. On Windows, just right-click the folder, hover over Send to, and choose Compressed, Zipped folder. On Mac, right-click the folder and select Compress. This creates a single file that contains all the app's code, making it easier to upload. Next, go to TinyHost's website and sign up for a free account. Once you're logged in, you'll see an option to upload your files. Click on it, select your zipped folder, and upload it. TinyHost will handle the rest. In just a few moments, your app will be live, and you'll get a link to share with others. That's it. Your app is now accessible to anyone with an internet connection. This step is great because it allows you to test how your app performs when other people use it. Share the link with a few friends or family members and ask them to try it out. Their feedback will help you identify any last-minute tweaks you might need to make before promoting the app more widely. To keep everything organized and backed up, I also recommend uploading the original files to a Google Drive folder. This acts as your safety net. If something goes wrong or you want to make future updates to your app, you'll always have a clean copy of the code ready to go. Step 9. Hire a developer, optional. Now, if you've followed all these steps and still feel like building an app isn't your thing, or if you have a more complex idea that requires advanced features, there's another option: hiring a professional developer. Don't let this idea intimidate you. Platforms like Upwork make it easy to find experienced developers who can bring your vision to life. The first step is creating a job post on Upwork. This is where you describe your project and attract the right talent. Start with a clear and specific title, like "Developer needed to build a grocery list app with real-time sharing features." A good title tells potential developers exactly what kind of project it is and sets expectations right away. Next, outline the skills you're looking for. For most apps, you'll want someone experienced in iOS and Android development, as well as mobile app design. If you're unsure about specific technical terms, don't stress too much. Most developers will understand what you need based on your project description. For the project scope, you can set it as medium, which typically covers projects that take 3 to 6 months to complete. In terms of budget, I recommend setting a fixed price in the range of $1,000 to $3,000. This is usually enough to hire a skilled developer for a straightforward app like the one we've been building. If your app idea is more complex, you might need to adjust this, but starting with a clear budget gives you a solid foundation. The job description is arguably the most important part. Be as detailed as possible about what you want your app to do. Describe the core features, like adding items, categorizing them, and setting reminders. If you have any specific design ideas or examples of apps you like, include those too. You can even mention competitors' apps as a reference point. For example, you might say, I want an app similar to App X, but with these additional features. This helps the developer understand your vision and makes the entire process smoother. Once you've hired a developer, they'll not only build your app, but can also help you with publishing it to app stores like Google Play or the Apple App Store. This is another step where their expertise comes in handy because App Store submission involves certain guidelines and requirements that can be tricky to figure out on your own. Step 10. Monetize your app. There are a few different strategies you can use to monetize your app, depending on your app's features and target audience. One of the simplest ways is to add a paywall for premium features. For example, your grocery list app could be free to download, but users have to pay a small fee to unlock advanced features like real-time sharing, reminders, or a customizable interface. Another option is to integrate ads into your app. This works best for free apps with a high volume of users. Keep in mind, though, that ads can sometimes annoy users, so you'll want to strike a balance between earning revenue and maintaining a good user experience. Many apps also offer a combination of these strategies, such as a free version with ads and a premium, ad-free version for paying customers. At this point, you've gone from an idea in your head to a fully functional, hosted, and potentially profitable app. Let's quickly recap everything you've accomplished. You started by researching and refining your app idea, making sure that it solved a real problem and stood out in the market. You used AI tools like ChatGPT to generate the app code, tested and customized it on CodePen, and saved it for hosting. You learned how to host your app online using TinyHost and back it up with Google Drive. And finally, you explored the option of hiring a developer and considered different monetization strategies to make your app profitable. This entire process is beginner-friendly and doesn't require a huge upfront investment. All it takes is some time, creativity, and the willingness to learn. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most people who never take the first step toward building their dream app. What kind of app are you planning to build? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.